Here's an example of how bad karma can come back and bite you in the ass, right? So earlier I was thinking, right? And I'm going to base this off a real life example, but I'm going to be general, right? Not specific. So imagine, right? You do business, right? And you have clients that you deal with that help you make money. You need the clients to make you money. So you make them 10K, and it's a two-part process, right? So the first part, you make them 5K. The second part, you make them another 5. So it's 10K. Your fee is 2K. So they pay you the 2. You give them the 10. That's how much they get paid. They have no problem giving you the 2, right? So this is how the bad karma comes in, right? So you say, I need my 2K up front when you get your first half. And they're guaranteed to get their other half. So they get their first half. They pay you the 2. They're left with 3. And they're supposed to get the other 5. They pay you nothing from the other half. Most of the time, business goes smoothly. So they get their 8. You get your 2. Everything goes smooth. But in a scenario where for some reason something goes wrong and you aren't able to produce the other 5 for them, now they only get 3, you get 2. And what if they're like, hey, you know what, I didn't get my money, how about at least give me half of the 2 back, give me 1,000 back, or whatever, you guys work something out. But then you go ahead and say, no, I don't do refunds, it's not my fault it didn't work out, blah blah blah. The person's left not getting the money they were promised. You get your money. But what happens here is, now you're being dishonest. You're not being as humble as you can be and trying to, because the customer is always correct. The customer is always right. The customer comes first. So in that example, you should help the customer out. What's going to happen is, in a future situation where you're working with somebody that helps you make bigger chunks of money, and something like that happens, they're going to fuck you out of it and not give a fuck to give you that refund or give you that percentage back when you didn't get all your money. But this is how the universe works. Say you get in the practice of actually giving people back a percentage or a refund when they aren't guaranteed to get all their money in a scenario. Now you're setting into motion in the universe for the universe to work for you, where if you were to go through a situation like that in the future, you now would get a reasonable refund back to you. And now because you are putting that energy out into the universe, now it works that way back to you. But most people would fuck somebody out of money. They get fucked out of money, and then they say, oh, this is why I fuck people out of money, because they're always fucking me. And that's going to keep happening to you until you actually humble yourself and realize, no, it's only happening because of the energy you're putting out. When you could actually start to humble yourself and actually do the right, good business with people, you will see that any business you do in the future will always work out in your favor. And God forbid it doesn't. You be the humble person and be like, you know what, that's okay. And watch the universe reward you even more. I just had this thought in my mind, guys, because I went through something just like this a couple of times, all right? On both ends, where I helped them get the money or I was the one being helped get the money. Just want to share this with you guys. I love you guys. Have a great and amazing day. Peace, y'all.